With Big Boy 4014 making its cross-country tour this year, seems like everybody has train fever. And of course, we wanted to hitch a ride, but tickets were super expensive. So we figured the next best thing was the Durango and Silverton coal-fired locomotive. So join us as we step back in time for an old-fashioned train ride. The train took us to Silverton, where we ate lunch at the Shady Lady. I even got to meet the owner, who was just about to turn 90 years old. I asked her what her secret was, and she said in one word, beer.
And how was your first bite?
That was pretty tasty.
Awesome.
New York steak sandwich. Hop on the bus, Gus.
Get on a plane.
Make a new plan.
Stand.
Thank
Make a plan stand. Oh, boy, I floundered on that one.
Our neighbors know the song way better than I do.
Hop on the bus,
Gus,
Make
thank
a
you.
plan.
Make some
Stand.
plans, Stan.
Awesome.
Now what's the rest?
All right, so where are we at?
We are in Durango on the bus going to Silverton so we can take the train back.
1,000 people at the last census. It's an all-year town. You got skiing in the winter. You got the train halfway in the winter. The coal train, I guess that's what they call it. Polar Express, you betcha. And in the summer, you got the train all the way to Silverton. You got hiking and river running in the early parts of the summer. You got bicycling. That's what you're supposed to do when you say that. Anyway, up here in southern Colorado, you have the Mesa Verde Indians. You know, Mesa Verde National Park, about 4 daddies to survive, and he found gold, lots of gold, already made into plates and idols and stuff. Didn't have to dig for it either. And then we have a mule deer in this country. Mule deer have big ears, so they're bigger than other deer like the whitetail and the Texas deer and so on. And then we also have and then come up, because the colors are going to march down the mountains, you might say. It's going to be pretty. You're in the Colorado River drainage, which goes all the way to Denver, past Denver, picks up the Green River there at Canyonland and Moab, which comes out of Wyoming. And these little, or that you see it snaking through other places, that's all clones. Because one set of clones will lose their leaves and another one won't. Some will turn orange, some of them turn red. So that's kind of cool. Okay, quickly let me tell you how all this stuff got up here. I know you guys are quivering with anticipation, right? And then we're going to leave and go down to, this takes about 3 minutes. Then we're going to go down to Silverton, which is only about 20 minutes away or less. Anyway, all right. This here is the continent of North America, floating around on the surface of the earth. See it going around on the earth, yeah? It sails along into the California thing and collapse down in the calderas, create lots of cracks and crevices. That solution goes into those cracks and crevices and loses their load, and you have veins of gold and silver, lead, and zinc, and all that stuff. And up here high in the mountains, most of these mines are up about 12,000 feet, because the glacier shaved everything off nice and clean. So, what do you think? That's one theory. I got about 2 or 3. I like that one. Anyway, now keep in mind, the tops of these mountains generally are a lot of volcanic ash. They have a lot of calderas here. And by golly, you could call home right away and tell them you're going to be in a caldera or a volcano in Silverton, the Silverton caldera. And it's inside even another caldera called the San Juan caldera, and it goes all the way up, picks up another caldera called the Lake City caldera. So there's 3 in 1 there. And like I said, there's over 20 calderas, I don't know how many really, in the mountains here in the San Juan. But the largest one is La Garita, which is over by Wolf Creek Pass. And if you came down Wolf Creek Pass, Well, you came right down the south edge of La Garita, which is 30 miles by 50 miles wide, and it has 4 or 5 calderas in it. So things just kept blowing up around here. Got the mountains behind it there. Those are the Grenadier Mountains. I mean, it's just gorgeous. It's also the highest mountain in Colorado. It's I don't know, 10,800 or 900 feet. And it's also an unofficial name for it is Freeze Your Butt Off Campground. As you guys witness some of that. People love it though. They come up here and go snowmobiling and everything and have a great time. But well, anyway, the panic of 1893 showed up. They rescinded the Silver Purchase Act and all these mines, Big G. By the way, the second thing you need to notice right here is a bunch of flattened trees right there on the right. See on the other side? And that's where we had an avalanche last spring. And the trees are pretty good size, so that means we haven't had enough snow to have an avalanche for several years, so they got pretty tall. Those quakies grow fast though. It buried the train track about 80 feet deep. By the way, there was a lady the other day that kept going, oh my goodness, oh my goodness, oh my. Scared me so bad I had to close my eyes for like a half a mile. But the bus knew where to go. And she kept saying, how come they don't have guardrails everywhere? Well, I told her that you have to push the snow off somewhere, and then the wrecked cars, you got to push them off. It's getting kind of pretty out there. There's Silverton itself. Had about 2,000 people in it when it was really a busy mining town. Nowadays, maybe 600 in the summer, 300 in the winter. They have a school, K through 12. They're kind of a nice school, really. And they have about 100 people in it, counting the students, administrators, teachers, a couple dogs. Nice little town. Only one restaurant stays open in the winter. I think it's the Brown Bear. And that's a good place to eat, by the way, if you want to go there. And I think the train might beat us here. I don't know, we'll see. Yep, train's already there. But you have another one coming in about 30 minutes. And come on, chugging and pumping around the corner. It's really cool. By the way, there was a beer truck fell over right here. The guy said he had more help than he needed to pick up stuff. By the way, if you need to go to the restroom, right here on the right is a gray building, and by golly, it says restroom right on it. Okay, now what you're going to do today is you're going to get out of the bus and wander around, and here comes the train. I don't know, probably 20, 30 minutes or so, maybe a little longer. Depends on how late or how early they are. They've been running pretty good lately. They're going to come up right here on the left. See the railroad tracks on the left there where it's kind of wet? That's up the steam engine left that moisture there. And they got one in Washington State. Near Mount Rainier. Nice family, the Harpers, live right there in Durango. I'm going to let you off where this white bus is up here. And my wife said, by golly, if you guys go ahead and tip the driver, give him a big wet smooch, whichever you want. Anyway, you folks have a great trip. You're going to love it.
Oh, the selfie stick.
We're
in Silverton.
Colorado.
Awesome. Where to first, baby? Oh,
Food.
I'm overwhelmed. I want to stop for
I'm hungry.
Oh, I can't hold you.
We're gonna see how good the image stabilization is on this little camera.
Nice.
Man, it looks good just even looking out that way.
It looks good pixel-wise.
No, just look, it doesn't really bounce that much.
That's great. No bouncing. The Shady Lady was built in the 1880s and was the last brothel in Silverton. Now a restaurant, you can enjoy the good food and ambiance.
The trees are changing colors in Silverton, Colorado. This restaurant will only be open for 2 more days. And we have coffee.
And Diet Coke.
No, I had to figure it out.
Not quite seeing in my bag. Oh, poor girl.
And how was your first bite?
That was pretty tasty.
Awesome.
New York steak sandwich.
Alright. And I'm having some Frito pie with lettuce and tomato here at the Shady Lady. And there is one of the Shady Ladies herself.
The Durango and Silverton Narrow Gauge Railroad has been federally designated a National Historic Landmark. The route was originally opened in 1882 to transport silver and gold from the San Juan Mountains. This line has run continuously since 1881, although now it's a tourist and heritage line hauling passengers.
Alright, so Robin and I are standing in front of the Durango and Silverton steam locomotive, and it is about to take us back to
Durango.
Alright, very exciting stuff.
Yeah. Cool.
Silverton is a former silver mining camp, and although it no longer has active mining, it thrives off of tourism. Silverton is one of the highest towns in the United States. It sits at 9,318 feet above sea level. I wanted to have my picture taken with the conductor, and as you can tell, he was positively thrilled. All aboard. Next stop, Durango.